Hey everyone, welcome to another rapid fire review, this time for Team Ninja's Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Wolong is an action RPG set loosely to the romance of the Three Kingdoms, with some added legends and myths thrown in to spice everything up. We play a silent protagonist tasked with taking on demons and legendary figures from the era in order to prevent the big bad from taking over and plunging the world into darkness and all that normal bad guy stuff. The story of the game is sadly presented in standard Team Ninja Koei Tecmo fashion. My expectations were low and I was still slightly disappointed. There is a massive cast of characters who mostly get very little screen time and simply pop in and out of cutscenes when it's convenient. On one hand, it was nice seeing their take on characters very familiar to me from other sources, but on the other, they mostly just poke their heads in like walking Easter eggs and then disappeared. Now, I know that there probably aren't a ton of people playing a Team Ninja game for the storytelling, but they clearly put in a ton of effort here, and I can't help but being continually dissatisfied with what they're presenting. The game starts out with an extremely detailed character creator. Again, this is Team Ninja, so if you want a character who would fit right in Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, you can do that. The gameplay is going to be very much like Nioh and Nioh 2, Souls-like. The massive emphasis on parrying attacks. Everything can be parried. Sword strikes, hammer swings, even explosions can be parried. There's a wide variety of weapons, weapon skills, swappable attributes, and scaling mechanics that make the combat feel totally customizable to the playstyle you're looking for. Or if you simply find a new weapon that looks interesting, the free stat reroll system allows you to play with any new toys you find. There are 5 phases, or elements, that you can put points into as you're leveling up. Wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Each with its own elemental damage type spell trees, and specific attributes that increase when you choose one over the other. Again, the customization here is excellent. Each branch provides a pretty unique playstyle in terms of utility and damaging spells. High utility spells from other trees are pretty easily incorporated in whatever build you choose, and there's no permanently messing up your playthrough if you choose wrong. Many tough enemies and the bosses are resistant or are weak to certain element types. So again, the reroll system is a great way that Team Ninja allows you to vary up the gameplay throughout the game. I found the combat intensely satisfying in Wolong, even while learning the different movesets of enemies and bosses. And many of them have attack animations that are purposely off-speed or staggered, or they just hang in the air while you stand under them and pray that you get it right. Something a little bit different here is the Spirit Bar. It combines the stamina and mana bars from other games. Blocking attacks, casting spells, and dodging all fill this absolutely tiny bar, and it stays filled for a while. And once you take damage while it's full, you get staggered. The only way to have this bar empty is to attack or successfully parry attacks. The game really forces you to play within its style. You really can't be a mage that stands back blasting fireballs or lightning bolts. You can actually cast very few spells before you need to get in there and attack, or at least be in the mix and make some parries. There's also the morale system, which determines exactly how powerful you are at any given time. How much damage you do, how much damage you take, and what spells and abilities are available to you. You start each mission at level 0 and must kill enemies and find flags around the map to raise your actual morale level and your morale floor, which is important in case you die. I do like the idea of rewarding exploration, forcing players to seek out many bosses and preventing players from just rushing through each mission to get straight to the bosses. Now for the gameplay aspects that weren't handled as well. First, let's get the camera part out of the way. The camera is garbage, but the camera is always garbage, even in the best of these games. Then there's the reinforcements AI. The AI is garbage, and the AI is always garbage. They just love to jump to their deaths, or they stand in flames until they're nice and crispy, or they'll just get stuck in a weird spot and will teleport all over the place, usually into a fire where they get nice and crispy. Again, this is standard. And finally, the game's overall balance and difficulty. This is where I am most disappointed with the game. This and many of the other balancing issues lead me to believe that this was just rushed out of the door as fast as possible before they could get sufficient testing in. Bosses vary wildly in difficulty. Some of the missions and bosses were so easy that they just weren't memorable. You didn't have to die to learn their moves or timings because they just fell over dead. There was nothing to learn, nothing to overcome, just a big bad guy appears after a cutscene, he talks some shit, and you beat their asses to death. Hell, when I fought what I thought was the final geriatric bad guy, I victimized him so badly in 2 phases that I thought that there was a third. And then there are the PC performance issues that are absolutely unacceptable for a full price release. Hard crashes, stutterings, input issues, and just nasty random bugs. It's a little disappointing because I think much of this game is really good. And with a bit of polish, this game could have reached the heights of Nioh 1 and 2. It's just not quite there now. It feels clumsily assembled or half-baked. I'm really hoping that Team Ninja gets the opportunity to make a sequel or DLC to finish polishing the systems and performance that really drag down the experience here. If you are a massive Souls-like fan, like I am, I think you definitely need to give Wolong a shot. Even though I don't think it's their best work, it nicely passes the time until the next Souls-like game comes out. $60 may also be a steep price for the current PC performance, but right now it's included with Game Pass, and that's an amazing deal. So I'm going to give Wolong a 7 out of 10. Look, if you aren't a fan of this style of game, I can see that score being much, much lower, but this is the kind of game that I seek out on the weekends. Thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Wolong, and we shall see you on the next Angry Joe Show.